Hello and welcome to a special of Hearts of Iron 4. We are with the By Blood Alone DLC here, and I'm going to show you a couple of things that I have kind of noticed and done something about that I find quite irritating. It doesn't really make any difference what we're actually doing here because we're not actually going to be playing, but I will show you what is my thoughts and my needs and my desires for the game, because by Blood Alone's air research, I do like this. There is no more kind of well, for instance, the small airframe, there's no more kind of distinction between the carrier and the land-based version. And yeah, this is, well, you did get different versions of the TAC bombers, I seem to think, as well. So I do see that as a real bonus. One thing I have noticed though is, like, where are the transports? Because there was an upgrade on the transports and I can't see it. It's not there. I can't see it in giving out on any of these, so you just get jet engines there, which is very nice to see, but yeah, why does that take us onto here? I don't know, but we don't get anything like transports on here, to my knowledge anyway, and you wouldn't get them there, so yeah, very strange. So that aside, I do like the production of having these airframes that you can just go modular on and just build up, because yeah, it's very fun to do, like with the Navy and the tanks, all very good. However, where it lets us down, and we can only really show this in this view, is the deployment of our Airwings at a standard of 100 each. Even on transport aircraft, who needs 100 in an Airwing of transport aircraft? Who? Just tell me the person that is doing this. I will show them the error of their ways. Now, if you've got photo reconnaissance aircraft, scout aircraft, as they're referred to in the background files that Hearts of Iron uses, or Paradox uses, I should say, they are set to 10, but you do need a medium airframe to actually do them. But for my functionality with these aircraft here, I don't think we've actually got any more aircraft to pump out as Germany. Let's just have a look at our... bearing in mind I've just eliminated some Airwings there, and we still have a massive deficit because we have silly numbers required. I don't need this. I don't need 40 more of these fighters. I need the next fighter up. I don't need more being added. So they are upgrading there, but they are still going to be out there, still going to be building up and adding to your logistics nightmare because of the 100 limit. That is one issue. Now, if you're playing as Germany, Italy, Japan, Soviet Union, Britain, France, or America, I don't think that's going to be an issue. But if you're starting off as Ethiopia, or say Switzerland or China, then you've got an issue, because you have got massive debt basically. You can't do... oh, hold on, before we actually jump, we will jump to China in a second, but there's something else that I just need to make you aware of. Sending volunteers. So we know that we can send air volunteers. So currently this is set up to a proportion of your divisions, but it's currently set to kind of 2 because of how many divisions we've got. So that's kind of going on the basis that it's 100 in an Airwing. Okay, so do remember that, because I'll be coming back to that in a second or two. Now, if we jump to... yeah, let's jump to China to start off with. How playing as China? Air Forces, yes, they have got an Air Force. You may think this is not an issue, but yeah, they do. So they are left in a dire situation. If you've ever played as China, you know what I'm talking about. But then coming up with more aircraft in these areas, where you really need to split these aircraft up into different groups. China is big at the end of the day, and they've got quite a few airfields, so yeah, you're going to be fighting on many fronts. You want to try and defend against the Japanese, you need a bit of flexibility. What this system does, and we don't have that option, we could right click here and get that down to 15 if we wanted, or to 50, or to whatever number we required. We now don't have that functionality. So as good as the air has been revamped and reworked, it has let itself down by actually limiting what we can do. It's kind of the same as if you had a set amount of fleets that you then had to have. It would then be asking, on the same mentality, we'd be asking for, I don't know, 24 ships before you can have a fleet that was fully functional. Because remember, these, they can get trained up, but when you add more aircraft to it, they lose that training status. So you're losing any buffs that you got, and you've got a logistics nightmare that's happening because this is incorrect figures. It's not what you're asking for. It's what Paradox has determined what you should be playing as, and I think that's wrong. I think player flexibility in how you play the game. There are no right and wrong answers, but this is determining your actions, and it is kind of tying one of your hands behind your back, I think. Anyway, so let's have a look at England. Good old Blighty. Bloody Blighty. I know. Right, carrier-based aircraft. Okay, they're Airwings. Like the scout aircraft that you can produce, they're limited by 10. So common practice, if you've got carrier aircraft, is, and this is not just for carrier players, but this is for anybody really that's kind of just dealing with issues like this. Yeah, I know, they're biplanes, it does take a while. It's a nice part of the country. If you can fly anywhere, that's a nice place to be. Okay, so we went from 10 in the Airwings because Paradox has left the carrier-based aircraft on 100 on their land-based version. So your carrier planes, you can just have them deployed anywhere, but Paradox has determined that if you're going to do that, then they are also going to be 100. And what does that do to your requirements on your logistics? Sends it through the roof. Okay. Now you have got capacity on your aircraft carriers to actually do more aircraft, and if we send them, because we haven't actually added to their numbers, if we send them back to the carrier, it's not a problem. Have them be an air wing of 100 once they go on land, I think is a problem, but it's not a fault, it's not a bug. So yeah, you've got a capacity of 60 there that you can actually do on HMS Courageous. You want to increase that, just increase your air wings, just split them. I think that's the easiest way. So then that everybody then will gain up to more figures, and that's probably yeah, 5 naval bombers and 1 fighter. Maybe that's the way to go, I don't know. That's what I'm going to be trying in the future, but anyway, that's aside. Those aircraft now will stay on their 10s. Okay. When it comes to the rebalancing of the mod, I think I've shown you everything there that I wanted to, so we'll come out of this game. We haven't actually played. We'll have to exit the game, come back in, so bear with. We are still recording. So, this is a mod that I've created. It's not much of a mod. There's only about 6 files that I needed to just adjust. But it does mean that it's not Ironman compatible. So you can't do achievements. But your experience within the game and the AI's experience within the game, because let's face it, you're having your game, you've got your requirements, logistics, you've now got to consider that the AI out there, if they started off with 5 planes somewhere, then they're being asked to produce 100 when they didn't necessarily need to do that. So it's not just your side of the game that's being affected, this is the computer side as well. So the AI has got control of all the other countries and all of their air forces, all of those air wings. And the economics of this, I think, are a disaster. So we are 1937. We've progressed a bit in the game. I created some scout aircraft, so just to show you that they are on a Airwing of 10. But my other Airwings are on 25. Okay, that's the point. This one, I don't think is actually in this theatre, so it's not actually counted. And I did add another Airwing here, but I don't think it's that one. Yep, because it's currently ungrouped, so we'll just add that on there so that they both show. So all of my aircraft, whether they are close air support, tactical bombers, fighters, they will deploy, whether they as fresh, they will deploy as 25. So if I wanted 25 medium bombers there, yep, not a problem. Okay. And so our carrier aircraft, where are they? I've actually dealt with them, so here they are. So they've been slowly building up, but if I wanted to train them up again and have them train there, let's move them over. They remain at their Airwing of 10. I can train them up, and then because my carrier is already trained, I can have them train up separately. I then don't waste fuel with my carrier out at sea. I don't waste fuel on these unnecessarily because it's only going to affect the ones that do need. Actually, I've done it on the wrong one, so I did this correctly. Yeah, it's just those that do need to train. They will actually train up. But my logistics are a hell of a lot healthier because I've got numbers that I could control within the game. And this is taking back a bit of control. I set it as like 25. I could have done 50. I could have done 20. But just taking it off that 100 number was legitimate for a couple of reasons. One of them being logistics, another being an area. So say if we've got Cyprus here, and it's a typical example because you find loads of airfields out there with a 200 limit on there until they're actually built up. It does mean that I've got flexibility, so I could have close air support, tactical bombers and fighters, and in fact a couple of fighters actually there, one doing air supremacy, one doing interception on that one airbase, and that would only be 100 out of that. If using paradox system, I could only have 2 types of aircraft there because it can only do a limit of 200 there. Otherwise you go over on your limit on your airbase, that affects the functionality, and then they get debuffed because they're going to go over. So yeah, if you like this as a mod, as I say, you can't do achievements on it. It's not Ironman friendly because it affects base game facilities, but it does mean that I can put things where I want them, how I want them, train them up how I want them in a more realistic sense. Now, the surveillance aircraft. So as an example, if we have our, where are they? They will be coloured here. So these guys, so their surface detection and sub-detection has been altered in line with the smaller number, because Paradox had put everything on a basis of it was going to be 100 Airwing. So in the mod, I've just reduced it to, like, for naval-based, the naval bombers that are going to be land-based, it's going to be based on 25 aircraft. Carrier aircraft is going to be an Airwing of 10. So I've adjusted in proportion to the particular aircraft, depending on what it is that you're asking for. I have to say, based on the values that I've actually seen, though, if you have tactical bombers are fine, but if you have the larger, that's a bad example. That's a bad example. A good example would be this airframe. So if we had these trying to do surface detection, sub-detection, their values currently on the interwar large one is not worth it. It's just a base one, and I think it goes up to all of the strategic bombers that they are like that. Tactical bombers, naval bombers, and CAS don't have that restriction. There is a variable, but the strategic bombers are no good at it, basically, which is strange, because a strategic bomber, the Avro Lincoln, was actually born out from the Lancaster, and the Avro Lincoln, when it had a surface search radar on there, was the UK's maritime bombers. So yeah, pretty strange on that one. Anyway, let's hike over to Germany, because I just want to emphasize something about the air volunteers. So I know that you can actually do this from Germany. So you know that Spanish Civil War is on. You can give volunteers, and they're up to 3. So their air volunteer permission limit has been met already. Okay, so it would have been 2 Airwings originally. Now they've got the choice, but they've sent 3. Italy, you can send volunteers, and your request permission is up to 10 on there. So because it's smaller Airwings, I've increased the amount in proportion to what you can actually send as an Airwing when you're sending volunteers. So that, I hope, is okay. It's probably not explained well on the description or the mod, but that is basics. Anyway, I've got to battle test this, and because I haven't had a full on World War yet with everything working as it should do, so I'm going to be doing that, and I'm going to be battle testing it. If you want to try out the mod, check out it in the description. I'll put it in the description, a link to it on the Steam Workshop. But apart from that, I will see you next time in another video of Hearts of Iron, where we probably won't be playing with my mod, but, well, if you want to see that, ask for it. If you want to see something in particular, I have got in mind for playing France, Soviet Union, and China and Japan. So, all being well, we shall see some more videos soon. Anyway, until then, like, comment, subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you next time. See you later. Bye.